If you look behind me, you can see I-94. This passageway connects Detroit, Michigan to Chicago, Illinois, but also cuts through much of lower Michigan and northwest Indiana. Now, this highway is essential, but there is something that is notorious for that can be very problematic, and that is vehicle pileups. And one here in Galesburg, Michigan was especially impactful that involved close to 200 cars. We're going to talk about that one in this video, and then we're also going to cover 10 other vehicle pileups that were impactful across the Great Lakes region. So a vehicle pileup is classified as a multiple vehicle collision. Okay, and there has been a number of multiple vehicle collisions all across the Great Lakes region. We're only going to highlight 11 of them, as some of them were more significant than others. But a primary cause of these multiple vehicle collisions, particularly in this area close to Lake Michigan, is lake effect snow.
Lake effect snow is typically caused by gradually cooling air passing over the warm waters of the lake. This can generate instability that favors precipitation in a relatively limited area. Often, conditions in lake effect snow areas can go from sunshine to whiteout in a matter of seconds. We will mainly focus on the winter snowmakers that cause vehicle pileups in the Great Lakes, and our first one dates all the way back to February 7, 2003. Benton Harbor, Michigan sits right on the southwestern edge of Lake Michigan. The I-94 corridor in this area remains active year-round, as it is a direct route into the Chicago metro area from Michigan. During the winter months, lake effect snow development is a common occurrence that can easily lead to treacherous driving conditions near the lake shore. In this instance in 2003, this is exactly what happened. A pileup involving 80 vehicles, including several semi-trailers, occurs at exit 33 due to whiteout conditions where the snow is so dense that it brings visibility near zero. Roads can go from clear to treacherous in a matter of seconds in these conditions. This archived weather map shows the setup for this event, with a low-pressure system situated to the east as well as a high-pressure system to the west. The counterclockwise movement of air around the low favors northwesterly winds moving over the warm lake waters, generating lake effect snow. As a result of the accident, 1 person died and 48 were injured. It's fair to say that these conditions do not only impact the United States, though. In Canada, a vehicle pileup involving more than 100 vehicles shut down Highway 400 near Toronto. Not much information is available on this Toronto pileup, but given the location of this pileup, the time of year, and the conditions during the day, we can conclude that the probable cause of this event was slick roads due to temperatures in the teens with possible lake effect snow showers coming off of Lake Huron. Next, we will talk about a snow squall in 2013 that caused 3 pileups in one day across southwest Ohio. But first, if you like the content that is being shown to you here, please like the video and also consider subscribing. It is free, and it helps me to provide more storm chasing and weather content for the Great Lakes. Now, this next area is much farther inland from the lakes, but can still experience the dramatic effects of a quick burst of snow. January 21st, 2013, a storm system is moving through southwest Ohio, bringing with it a heavy snow squall, dumping snow and causing 3 different car pileups in the area. This snow squall quickly coated the roads with a layer of heavy snow, with a combination of poor visibility led to what Sergeant Scott Buckley of Lebanon Patrol called the perfect storm. One pileup was along I-275 in Cincinnati, Ohio. In this crash, over 27 injuries occurred, and one 12-year-old girl was killed after being struck by a vehicle in the median. From the same storm, a 52-car pileup also occurred near Middletown, Ohio, along I-75. 9 people were sent to the hospital for treatment, but thankfully suffered no serious injuries. A third accident also impacted Westerville, Ohio, later on in the afternoon, involving 20 vehicles. Iced over roads led to cars spinning out in front of a series of other vehicles. Needless to say, these 3 separate events from the same storm show how careful action needs to be taken as snowy conditions begin to impact high traffic areas. Our next location is at a place that can be easily underestimated when it comes to lake effect snow, and that includes areas along the southeastern side of Lake Michigan. Wind patterns along many low-pressure systems can sometimes shift lake effect snow bands southward with their changing winds, focusing bands of heavy lake effect snow over extreme southwestern corners of Michigan and northwest Indiana. This was the case in Michigan City, Indiana on January 23, 2014, as a 46-vehicle pileup occurred across a mile of highway along I-94. The heavy snow band quickly led to whiteout conditions, catching drivers off guard as they quickly traveled on the 6-lane highway. The combination of high speeds and slick roads led to some vehicles being unrecognizable, with some first responders having difficulty getting to their driver's seats. From this event, 3 people are dead and 20 are injured. Our next pileup occurred in the same year along the Ohio Turnpike, which is a stretch of highway that extends from Chicago all the way towards the New England states. And frequent travelers in this area benefit from the quality of the highway, as travelers are required to pay a small fee to travel. This road frequently traveled by me during storm chases along the Michigan-Indiana border. Despite the road quality, road conditions can still get sour, and that is what happened during a late-season snowstorm on March 12, 2014. At 1:25 p.m. on Wednesday, drivers reported a crash caused by whiteout conditions, with eventually a dozen semi-trailers becoming involved in a chain reaction of up to 90 vehicles building over the next half hour. From this incident, 3 people are dead and many are injured. And now we come to it at last, perhaps one of the most well-known pileups in the Great Lakes region being the massive 193-car pileup that occurred near Galesburg, Michigan along I-94. This pileup was due to a heavy lake effect snow event that brought nearly a foot of snow to some surrounding areas. These heavy bands led to rapid changes in visibility and road quality as west-northwest winds surged over the lake, generating lake effect snow off of the warmer waters of Lake Michigan. These bands were carried over 50 miles into this area. Drivers were caught off guard as the snow quickly cut off directly into the crash zone. As I-94 is a direct line from Detroit to Chicago, many semi-trailers were also involved in the accident, including a truck carrying hazardous materials and a truck that was carrying nearly 40,000 pounds of fireworks, starting a blaze in the midst of the chaos. Despite the large amount of vehicles, there was only one fatality. Law enforcement eventually ticketed 63 drivers following the crash, as high road speeds were a primary factor in the pileup. As a result of the pileup, the highway near Galesburg now has a designated crash investigation site in hopes that a situation like this will not occur again. We will now fast forward several years into 2019, where on February 24th, a strong low-pressure system was moving across the Great Lakes region. The strength of the low-pressure system contributed to wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour in some areas across Wisconsin. And when you combine the strong winds with snowfall, it leads to blizzard conditions across an expansive area. These conditions led to a 131-vehicle pileup near Neenah, Wisconsin on I-43. The whiteout conditions created by the snowfall and the blowing snow led to multiple accidents and shutdowns across many parts of the state. In this event, one person died and over 71 were injured. Now we head to Hudson, Ohio, a city near Cleveland that's settled near the shoreline of Lake Erie. The abundant road network in this area is typically full of traffic. Less than a month later, on March 5th, 2019, a cold front surging through the area during the day led to a series of multiple vehicle collisions along Route 8, as whiteout conditions and icy roads rendered some drivers helpless. This was a series of crashes along the route that led to about 25 injuries. Now we approach very recent history as we head back to Sandusky County, Ohio during last year's Christmas blizzard of 2022. A low significantly deepens over the Great Lakes region and Ontario on December 23, 2022, impacting as much as 17 states with blizzard conditions, record cold temperatures, and strong wind gusts approaching 60 miles per hour. This was a storm that we covered as it impacted areas across the Kalamazoo region. The center of the extratropical cyclone was focused over Lake Huron, allowing the strong northwesterly winds on the west side to generate lake effect snow, enabling over 2 feet of snow to fall in some places near Lake Michigan. This lake effect snow occasionally was carried inland by the winds into areas such as Sandusky County, Ohio, near the site of another significant winter weather-related pileup almost 8 years prior. Sandusky County was placed under a level 3 winter weather emergency, as a sharp cold spike followed along with the low, causing flash freezes. The gusty winds with the storm led to blowing snow and near whiteout conditions in some spots. The crash began near State Route 2 with cars piling up along the highway shortly after. Eventually, 50 cars would pile up along the highway as low visibility due to blowing snow would catch drivers unaware. In all, 4 people were killed and nearly 73 were injured, despite only 50 cars being impacted on the highway. It is important to note in this video that it is not just lake effect snow and whiteout conditions that can cause vehicle pileups. Another possible weather impact to a vehicle pileup is dense fog, and that was the case in Sheboygan County, Wisconsin on October 11, 2002. Interstate 43 was moving at normal highway speeds in Cedar Grove, Wisconsin during that morning. However, conditions warranted much extra caution. Visibility in the area was down to 1/8 of a mile due to fog development, as temperatures settled down to the dew point for several hours during the day. The combination of the poor visibility and unresponsive driving speeds led to what remains one of the deadliest crashes in Wisconsin history. In all, 10 people were killed and 38 people were injured. Another fog-related incident occurred in Michigan's state capital, Lansing, on January 12, 2005. Saturated air led to dense fog settling over I-96. The extremely low visibility led to 200 vehicles piling up along the highway. After an SUV and semi-truck first made impact, both the westbound and eastbound sides were shut down as vehicles were impacted on both sides, causing 37 injuries and 2 fatalities.
Hopefully this video raises awareness of weather safety, especially during lake effect snow conditions. A few things you should know about lake effect snow conditions is that you should slow down when you're driving on snow-covered roadways, ice-covered roadways as well. And if you get stuck somewhere, it's important that you do not keep your car on all the time and also crack your windows as to avoid that carbon monoxide exposure that could occur in your body, as well as keeping an extra flashlight, food, water in your vehicle as well in case you get stuck. So it's definitely important that you are made aware of the events that can occur, and I'm here to hopefully help you provide some awareness with that. This is our first documentary, and we're hopefully going to do a few more, so make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.